Glad to have you back. You're still watching the morning show here on the Rise News. Addressing Chief Olusegun Obasanjo's allegations against President Muhammadu Buhari on Sunday, Special Advisor to the President of Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, on the show yesterday dismissed the accusations, saying the objective of the former president is to incite Nigerians and the international community against President Muhammadu Buhari.
Obasanjo sees defeat ahead in the polls. Instead of raising up his hands in surrender, he has decided not to. Rather, he has gone into the panic mode. So he wants to incite Nigerians, not just Nigerians, and the international community against President Buhari. But it's a losing battle. Nigerians know who to believe, they know who to trust, they know who to vote in. It's not for him to say, vote this person or don't vote this person. He has just one vote. And he has the liberty to cast that vote whichever way he wants.
Chief Obasanjo talked about his doubt on INEC's neutrality to conduct free and fair elections, accused President Buhari of running an autocratic government similar to the administration of the late military dictator, General Sani Abacha. He called the president's fight against corruption subjective and also said Boko Haram is empowered under this regime. Joining us now to speak on the PDP's take on the former president's address is the party's National Publicity Secretary, Kola Ologbodiyan. Good morning. Many thanks for joining us on the show this morning.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Great. Let's begin with your reaction to the 16-page letter by the former president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo.
Yes, the PDP's reaction, which I believe is the position of majority of Nigerians, is that Obasanjo's position on President Muhammadu Buhari is a vindication of all that we have said and all we have told Nigerians and the world concerning the activities of President Muhammadu Buhari. Foremost, we believe in the PDP that President Muhammadu Buhari has failed woefully on the three-pronged promises that he made to Nigeria, and Obasanjo was emphatic on that. We believe that President Muhammadu Buhari has no plan for a free, fair, and credible election in 2019, that he's working towards a self-succession plot. President Olusegun Obasanjo has emphasized that. So in every realm, we also believe that INEC is being harassed, is being intimidated by the APC and the Buhari presidency to rig the election in their favor. President Obasanjo spoke to that. So as far as the PDP is concerned, President Obasanjo's assertions are a direct validation of all the views that we have held in the People's Democratic Party.
All right. Some people say that former President Olusegun Obasanjo's address was a piece in self-preservation. What do you have to say to that?
That the former President Olusegun Obasanjo's position is what?
A piece in self-preservation. It's for his own good, self-interests only.
No, that's wrong. That would be absolutely wrong to say that President Olusegun Obasanjo was doing all he has done for this nation for self-aggrandizement. Is absolutely wrong. President Olusegun Obasanjo is one Nigerian that I know that loves this nation. He's one Nigerian that has made huge sacrifices towards the cohesion of our nation. And as such, he has always found every situation in which a leader or a president of our nation is going against the wishes of the people. President Olusegun Obasanjo is that Nigerian that will take the risk to come out and lay the grounds for correction. We must all, and I believe the majority of Nigerians are in agreement, are in a consensus on the fact that our nation is on the drift to the precipice. And we must do everything possible to take back our nation. The president has failed in governing this country. He's failed and failed woefully on all the promises that he made to us. Two, looking at the president and going by the interview that he had on Kaderia's show, and looking at his presentation of a flag meant for a gubernatorial candidate to a presidential candidate, can we, in clear conscience, said we deserve another 4 years of President Muhammadu Buhari. I believe this is the position of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. And he has said it and made it clear to every Nigerian that we should have a rethink on how we are going to vote in 2019, on February 16.
Now, the accusation by some is that the former president lacks the moral compass to judge this administration on some of the things he said, for instance, including credible elections. They cite the 2003 and 2007 elections. They say on the issue of self-succession, the former president is in no place to talk about that when we know about his plans for a third term. In 2013, the former president also wrote a blistering rebuke of President Jonathan at the time. He accused him of ruling as a dictator, training a killer gang, and allowing massive corruption under his watch.
I do not consent with these arguments, and I do not agree with these arguments. The fact that President Olusegun Obasanjo sought a third term, which Nigerians, in their wisdom, stopped and said that they prefer they prefer respect for our democracy and for our democratic institutions, is enough lesson for President Olusegun Obasanjo to be able to guide President Muhammadu Buhari that he should not follow the same path of self-succession that he attempted to do. So what is the moral bankruptcy in that? I can't find it. And by the way, if you accuse President Olusegun Obasanjo of doing something wrong, and you are coming to do a worse form of what you allege former President Olusegun Obasanjo to have done, how does it appeal to logic? How does it make sense to anybody? Because what we are saying is this. You are claiming that, oh, President Olusegun Obasanjo during his tenure attempted a third term. But you have imposed your own relation by marriage, according to President Muhammadu Buhari, to be the chairman of the Collation Center in an election in which you are going to participate. What can be worse than that? And you think that you should have the moral ground to accuse former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Nigerians are very passionate about free, fair, credible election in 2019. And we should not reduce this to a blame game, which is the character of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Whatever is wrong, and which Nigerians have seen as wrong, must be agreed to by President Muhammadu Buhari as wrong. And as such, he must do everything that will guarantee an electoral process that is free, that is fair, that is credible and transparent. I think that is the position of President Olusegun Obasanjo. So I do not agree that we should allow the Buhari presidency to play the blame game even on this matter of February 16, 2019 election.
All right, preceding this election was a debate. And we all know that participating in debates is an essential responsibility, just as absence from it is a political suicide. Now, the PDP presidential candidate missed that opportunity to reel out his manifestos and policies to Nigerians. Was he ill-advised?
No, it wasn't ill-advised. The organizers of that debate, I believe, listened and read the statement credited to an agent of President Muhammadu Buhari in person of the chairman of his anti-corruption committee, and I speak to Professor Ise Sage, who a few days to that debate declared on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari that those going for the debate are political dwarfs. The people's candidate, former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is a political giant compared to President Muhammadu Buhari. And as such, when Ise Sage, with due respect, made that statement, the natural expectation was for the organizers of the show, of the debate, to come out and say, do not detach from the importance of this debate, and say that the debate that we are organizing is not for political dwarfs. But even as I speak on this Arise TV show, now, the organizers of the debate have not said anything to contradict the position of President Muhammadu Buhari as expressed by Professor Ise Sage. However, let's leave that aside. The people's candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, returned from the court trip to the U.S. short because he had assurances that he was going to participate in the debate and that President Muhammadu Buhari was going to be available and he will also participate in the debate. And for us in the People's Democratic Party, particularly our campaign organization, we believe that the debate was to enable these two strong contenders, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and President Muhammadu Buhari, to face Nigerians, to enable President Muhammadu Buhari to say that the trust that Nigerians reposed in him 3.5 years ago, this is the way he had spent it. And to also enable Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the people's candidate, to be able to say, you did well here, but you didn't do well here. Where you did not do well, this is the direction I will take our nation to. I have no objection, because I know that in American presidential debate, it is the two strong candidates that are allowed to participate. However, you know, in our own democracy here, we take what we like, we pick and choose what we do from those who are the originator of this form of government. So I'm not saying that it is a must that we must follow the tradition of the U.S. presidential debate. Notwithstanding, it is not enough to leave President Muhammadu Buhari, who dodged the debate, who deliberately avoided the debate, without even an apology to the organizers. I will now go after Atiku Abubakar, who was in the United States of America and cut short his trip.
The presidency has reacted and given the itinerary of the president that day. He had some commissions to do, he had rallies to attend, and that's why he couldn't attend the debate. But let's move on to something else. Yesterday, the Minister of Information and Culture at a press conference alleged that your party was working with some terrorist groups to cause mayhem leading up to the election. It comes barely 24 hours after former President Olusegun Obasanjo also raised security concerns that would cause mayhem to the elections. Given all of this that is happening and is being said, would your party be open to the redeployment of increased security personnel around voting areas and certain areas in the country to forestall a breakdown of law and order?
Let me establish a fact that Nigerians know who Alhaji Lai Mohammed is. So nobody takes his comments serious any longer because he has said too many things that are unbelievable. Having said that, the allegations as expressed by Alhaji Lai Mohammed can at best or at least be described as irresponsible, ridiculous, and ludicrous. And as far as the People's Democratic Party is concerned, we have raised several alerts on the plot and on the plan by the Buhari presidency to create mayhem in our nation, blame the opposition parties for it, and arrest our leaders. That is a fact that we have established. And by the manner in which Alhaji Lai Mohammed gave expression to the plot, it shows that there is complicity at a high level. It's clearly manifest from his analysis that he is a part and parcel of the plan. So the plan could not have been coming from the opposition because Alhaji Lai Mohammed is not in the opposition. So certainly and agreeably, we challenge Alhaji Lai Mohammed to bring out, to name that security department, whether it's the Directorate of Security Services, whether it's the Army, whether it's the Navy, whether it's the NIA, whether it's the Air Force, whether it's even the Civil Defense that he procure that his information from. We'll be prepared to have it and to read it and to listen to it. But I want to assure Nigerians, and Nigerians are well assured, that the sitting president, President Muhammadu Buhari, has a record of inciting his supporters against peace-loving Nigerians. It was who in 2011 said that baboon and monkeys will soak in their blood. The People's Democratic Party is a party of peace, and we also function by peace. We have held rallies in several states. We have held rallies in about 4 to 5 zones, geopolitical zones out of the 6 geopolitical zones. Not a record of violence has been recorded in our rallies. But we knew what happened when the All Progressives Congress, the party which Alhaji Lai Mohammed and President Muhammadu Buhari belongs to. We knew what happened when they conducted even their own internal election. We knew the number of fatalities that were recorded. We knew the number of people that were killed. And even in an ordinary state rally held in Lagos, right there with you, we knew what happened, how it became violent, how fatalities were recorded. So as far as the People's Democratic Party is concerned, we're a peace-loving party, and Nigerians know us for that. So the issue of coming to make wild allegations that are not substantiated by Alhaji Lai Mohammed is totally irresponsible, ridiculous, and ludicrous.
All right, let's look at another issue now on Chief Obasanjo's address, where your party, the PDP, has already said that his concerns have vindicated your stance on INEC's lack of independence and integrity. Well, INEC's chairman, Mahmood Yakubu, has come out and he has said that the commission is under no pressure to do any wrong. Now, does that allay your party's fears into these coming elections?
Our interest is to provide an environment that will guarantee a peaceful, credible, clear, clean, and transparent election. We are also interested in encouraging the INEC chairman to achieve this purpose. But if there are fears among Nigerians, and there are concerns among Nigerians, that INEC is being skewed towards rigging the election in favor of President Muhammadu Buhari, the People's Democratic Party, as the party that Nigerians are rallying today, and the people's candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, must express concerns. And what we have done is that we have told the INEC chairman that we are aware of booby traps being laid in front of you. But as a Nigerian who has a name, that you must do everything possible to avoid these pitfalls and do what tomorrow will make you a hero of the people. That's all we are asking for. Our position in the PDP is that Professor Mahmood Yakub should do everything that is needful to ensure a free, fair, and credible election. And we quickly pointed out that you might not be able to achieve this if you kept Amina Zakari, that has become a toxic in the electoral process, as the head of the coalition. And we have said that the system in the past, in 2015, which President Muhammadu Buhari has applauded as the best, was that accreditation through accreditation was done before, and result of accreditation was announced before voting. That this simultaneous accreditation and voting together can only pave way for rigging. So that system, which even President Muhammadu Buhari himself admitted to, has been the best in 2015. That why don't you stand with that system? Let us have accreditation separate from voting. You do your accreditation, you announce the number of people that have been accredited, so that the number of people that have been accredited cannot be more than the number of votes that we are going to get at the end of it. But when you say come and accredit and vote at the same time, we don't know the number of people accredited, we don't know the number of people who are voting, you declare the result as you wish. The position of PDP is that that is not tenable. We are also we are aware that the INEC is planning to use empower people who are directly being paid by the Buhari campaign organization, who have been functioning for the Buhari campaign organization on Twitter handles and all other social media handles. And these are the same people that INEC wants to use as electoral officers. And we say this is totally unacceptable. And we are advising the INEC chairman that he should look back at the guideline and find a way of rejigging the guideline to suit these concerns as been expressed by the stakeholders, the political parties, Nigerians themselves, who are going to participate in the election. I do not see anything wrong in this. But it is funny and it's laughable that instead of INEC to look at the concerns being raised by stakeholders. They come to the political arena and engage political parties and staff of the parties, as if INEC, in truth, has taken sides with the APC and President Muhammadu Buhari. All we are saying in the People's Democratic Party is that INEC should do what is right, do what is needful, that will guarantee an election that will be free, that will be fair, that will be credible, that will be clean, that will be clear, and that will be transparent. This is all we ask for in the People's Democratic Party. And we are also cautioning that Professor Yakub Mohammed should not end up like the immediate past Inspector General of Police, who left the office disgraced after being used by the Buhari Presidency and the APC. That's all we are asking for. But it's in his own interest to choose what he wants to be, whether he wants to end up as a hero or he wants to end up as a villain. It's his choice.
Well, the countdown is on. It's less than 3 weeks to the February 16th presidential election. Kola Ologbondiyan, PDP National Publicity Secretary, would like to thank you for joining us on The Morning Show.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's time now for a short break on The Morning Show. When we return, we'll have the Arise News analyst, Emmanuel Efeni, join us with a review of the top stories on today's newspapers. Do stay with us.